Okay, then we will move to item D, which is our second review of some of our new Neola policies and some proposed revisions to certain policies. And we will list these out. So it is second review of the following new and revised policies and AGs. Revised Policy 5771, Search and Seizure. Revised Policy 5113, Open Enrollment. Revised Policy 7510 and AG 7510A, Use of District Facilities. Revised Policy 3131 and 4131, which is Reduction in Staff. Revised Policy 8210, School Calendar. Revised Policy 7540.03, Student Network and Internet Acceptable Use and Safety. Revised Policy 3139 and 4139, Staff Discipline. And Revised Policy 8320 and AG 8320A, Personnel Records. Mrs. Zardi does have a little information in here.
Yeah, we have a couple of discrepancies that Mrs. Buswell noted, thank you, from reviewing. Our current policy and AG for inter-school open enrollment is actually in conflict, because when it comes to the reapplication procedures, we have on the policy that the board will not require accepted non-resident students to reapply. And under the AG, we say that we will ask them to reapply, or they may be required to reapply. So our current policy has that. We didn't catch it when we reviewed the changes to this until, again, Mrs. Buswell reviewed it, I think, late Saturday night, perhaps. So I would recommend that both the AG and the policy state that students may be required to reapply. That gives us some flexibility if we have an out-of-district student who has a truancy issue or a pattern of behavioral difficulties, that we'd have an opportunity at middle school and high school to reevaluate that. So we can do one of two things. If you prefer that go back to the policy committee to verify it there before it comes here, we could do that. Or if you're comfortable making that change tonight, we can move forward with that. The other change is in regard to the school calendar. In our staff handbook committee meeting, the recommendation was that we add the word prep grading day. I'm going to move to that policy quickly to show you where that would be.
I do want to say along with that the policy on open enrollment, one of the reasons we're revising it is that the law did change. So that was the main reason for even reviewing it.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Buswell. And then under school calendar, again at the staff handbook committee meeting, we have the terminology non-instructional days for parent-teacher conferences, professional development, or other reasons during which staff are required to report are included in the 180-day requirement. It was recommended that we include the terminology prep grading days from that committee, but our the policy committee meeting was not held this month. So that change coming from the handbook committee has not gone to policy. So we may want to either pull this from approval and have that be reviewed by policy first, or if people are comfortable, we currently have prep in-service days as non-instructional days in our calendar, and I don't believe the staff handbook committee was that concerned about adding that verbiage in as one of the non-instructional days. But if you're most comfortable having us take that back to policy, we can do that before we bring it to the full board.
I think we currently have that as a non-instructional day, correct? I mean, that's how we have it stated. So a handbook was, it was including that. I don't have it, I'm comfortable with that also, I don't have an issue with that. And I know that the open enrollment, I think we reviewed and made that change to the word may. That was the latest version. I think initially we had the other version in the first half, so I'm comfortable with the word verbiage of may in the other policy also. I don't know if anyone else has an issue. I do want to say a lot of these have gone through the handbook committee. They initiated they're part of the process we're going through to create our employee handbook. And then they go through the policy committee, and then they come here. So we're working through the process.
I think there's really been a lot of discussion on all of those, and I really think they're ready.
I do too.
So I will make a motion to adopt the policies as amended with the substitution of the word may and grading prep as indicated.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second then to approve the policies as listed with the amended additions or changes that we have discussed. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.